Hi, welcome back. We are in Engineering 11. This is going to be our Lab 2 discussion of what the heck I expect of you all. I'd like to record this so that if any questions arise later, you will have the chance to do this. This is the first lab that we've submitted, so we're still getting our systems base, and because this is only the second time I've taught this class, I suck, but I will say I suck a lot less than the first time I touched this class, so someday I'm going to be good. I wanted to share an email that I'm about to send to you all, and I know many of you have these absolutely gorgeous questions about what the heck I expect. I want to document in this email what I'm saying and then also send some specific references. So we're going to write this as a team together. So good afternoon. As promised, I'm following up with my first draft. Oh, I already have the grading procedures, right? With specific instructions about how and what to submit for our Lab 2 write-ups. Please read through this document. For your convenience, I have attached you have access to the lab grading procedures document on our course homepage. Okay, for Lab 2 submissions, here's what I expect. A paper copy of your Lab 2 submissions, including, I think there's more than 3 documents, right? So maybe we can talk through this together. The following documents. Okay, so top sheet, top document, first one in the stack. For every lab, what's the top document on top of everything else? Lab 2 prompt. In this case, how many pages is that? 8 pages found on course homepage. And I think, if I am not incorrect, that I actually provided this to you the first day of last week, right? Yeah. Okay, so all right. Second document, and that's the second one on in the stack. And I suppose I would call this the second document, part 1. What would I expect for the second document? Yeah, our 5-year plan, or I guess your 5-year plan. And I don't know, can I just show a 5-year plan or two? Yeah, can I have someone? Yeah? I mean, I also want to show arts because it's so beautiful, but I think this is really exciting. Damn, you spent some time on this, brother.
Did I?
I mean, this looks at least like an hour and a half to me. I mean, I would say it's probably more than.
An hour and a half.
Yeah. You funny. You funny. Oh yeah, we're good, right? Okay, so he's got the horizons of focus. I'll make some videos on that at some point. Oh my goodness, you baller. You know what? I think you should take Chem 1A on. Oh my God, that's so much fun.
But I already took it.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, so this document would come next. Do you have color coding?
Orange is Foothill. Pink is the corresponding classes at San Jose State.
Wait. That's what that guy needs to do right now. I got one smile out of that? Come on.
I have a concurrent thing that helps with the...
Yeah, so this would be document part 2, and then, oh my God, this is gorgeous. How long did this take you?
8-ish hours? I kind of went off on it.
That's awesome. Do you know what I call that? Making your deep work, and also making your education customized to your own experience, right? Yeah. The more I can do this as a teacher, I think the better teacher I will become, right? This is absolutely gorgeous. So what I would say is top document in stack would probably be the 5-year plan. The lab prompts. Document number 2 is the 5-year plan. Document number 3 is the support documents to the 5-year plan. Josh, would you share with the whole class? This is beautiful, by the way. Can we give him a round of applause? And then give yourself a round of applause. Round of applause for everybody. Josh, would you ask that really beautiful question that you asked last time we spoke?
Was that about saving trees?
Yes.
Yeah, just for, I was asking if it was okay if like we only printed out the most like important, like the like general documents that would be the most useful to print out, but not print out everything.
Yeah, and in your case, everything included, what did you download and you found online and all this stuff?
60-something syllabi.
You found the individual syllabi for every course that you might have to take. You downloaded them all, saved them in the file, and then you also found academic planning resources too, right?
Yeah, like the general, like yeah, it was like the long general. I just took the web page for my major. And
Do you have those documents with you so we can can I show them? Would you mind?
Yeah, I printed out the general thing.
Oh my god, can I just show this whole thing? And what we're going to see, that like, you all are just amazing. Every one of you is just, I cannot wait to see what you do with your futures. So this is another example. We've got this beautiful, you probably got him color-coded too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what he's claiming is, he's got like a, yep. And then he's actually got a screenshot of where these are saved in memory so that he can go back. So instead of printing out the, you know, I don't know how many kilobytes of data this is, right? Do you know what I call that when I see this? I call that A+. So he took my work, and many of you are doing this, right? But you're not used to me yet. He suffered through me.
Yeah. Summer 2018.
Yeah. So he kind of knows me already. But this is an example of that. So what I would say is, in addition to the actual 5-year plan, above and beyond that, the next one under that is support documents. I will ask for support documents as a way to inspire you. Why would it be helpful for you to put the support documents right under your 5-year plan if you were to refer back to this in the future? Well, let me ask Josh that. Why is it useful to have all that information for you individually when you were asking me, like, what should I do?
In case, like, the internet dies and the world goes to hell.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a... yeah, another way to say that is sometimes you might want to, like, look back on, like, why did I make the decision that I made, right? Okay, so let's go there. Okay, so second document, part 2, and any support documentation you used to make your 5-year plan that you might want at your fingertips if you met with a counselor. Right? Okay, part 3. Sorry. So I guess we should actually, I don't know if I like this. Whatever. Okay, what's the third document? So we've got the lab write-up, we've got the 5-year plan, we've got support documentation. What next? Cheat sheet for what? Problem 2. Cheat sheet, and probably should spell problem 2 well, right? Anybody have a problem 2 cheat sheet? If not Josh and not James? Yeah, can I just kind of? Whoa, look at you. So you probably want to do this one. This is gorgeous. This looks like it took.
Those are just screen captures.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Yeah, we will get to know each other, and definitely I think if you were going to spend time on this one, I would have spent time on the plan, right?
Yeah.
This is still nice though. You've got the, like, beautiful, right? Because then you can go to your own document that makes sense to you, right? One of the things you'll all see about me is I'm all about creating my own versions of other people's work, right? It's called bad artist copy, good artist steal. Yeah, that's my whole life. Beautiful. So this would be next. Okay, what's next on top of that? So let's go back.
2 cheat sheets.
Yeah, so this is, I guess, 5. Fourth document is the problem what?
Problem
3 cheat sheet. Anybody have another one of those? Nice. Yeah? Can I take one of each? Whoa, that's exciting. You see this level? One of the things that I always am amazed at is my students, I mean, I'm going to say it, are some of the best students on campus. No, I don't say that to all students. Let's see. This one, right? So this is really, really kind of, oh, this one's really nice, Art. You got it just in the titles, right? Variables should be short, but variable names should be short and detailed. Always start with a lowercase label. This is nice. Because then when you're setting variables, you don't have to think through all that stuff. You just go to the cheat sheet and you're like, oh yeah, there it is, right? And eventually you'll memorize these. Yeah. I want you all to start to know Natalie. Different style. Art is super concise. Look at you. So you got your representation and then the source code. Yeah. You should get both of these people's signature, so that when they go famous, you're like, yeah, I knew them once. Because it's gonna.
Documentation for Lab 2 in MATLAB in winter of 2020.
Yeah. I have. If I don't. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I put some money. Did I steal something from you? Oh. You probably did this in there. Okay, so that's going to be the next one. All right. Okay, what's next? So we've got the fourth document is cheat sheet 3. I suppose the fifth document. And I would call the fifth document is actually part 1 and 2, right? What's part 1? Yep. Full derivation of mortgage formula. So did I tell this story? Back when my wife and I were delusional, thought we could buy a house in the Bay Area, we went and negotiated mortgage rates. And before we went, have I told the story out loud in this class yet? No. Before we went, I derived this exact formula from first principles. So I derived everything that I would need to know about how mortgages are calculated. Then I coded up, in this case it was an Excel spreadsheet, because Excel is a lot easier. Like, I couldn't run MATLAB as the guy's talking to me, right? Whereas Excel, I could just put in one number, like the 3 numbers, the term, the principal, et cetera, and then it would print out everything right in front of me. So I knew that the guy on the other side of the negotiation thought he had more information than I did. He probably did. He has a business degree, right? But I thought to myself, like, I want to know more about that math than that guy knows, and I want to be able to check his numbers live in person. That happened, and in the course of our conversation, we went from like a 3.6 interest rate to a 3.125 interest rate based on the questions that I asked, the information that I gave him, and the fact that I was challenging his assumptions. So he made assumptions about me as a lender that went into his model that were false assumptions, right? That happened. It's not that, so yeah, if you want to know more about that whole conversation, I don't know if it happened in the conversation or if it happened a few weeks later, because I think he had to have the higher ups approve. There were some issues, and there's some stuff associated with that. But the point of that matter is, stuff that seems mundane and day-to-day are designed by mathematicians. And if I'm able to understand where that comes from and write code to generate it for myself, that changes the way that I negotiate and talk about those ideas with the people that think that they know what they're talking about, right? The reason that I say this, though, is one of the things that I wanted you all to have, how many of you plan to take out a student loan, a credit card, a car loan, or a mortgage loan sometime in the next 10 to 15 years? Guess what you've just done in this lab for yourselves? If you've done it well, you've derived some of the fundamental quantities that you will see written on those documents. And you have a MATLAB script code that you could change to customize for the particular loan that you wanted that would allow you to size up what the hell the people are talking about in your own language, right?
And get any sort of quantities you want, what interest
Yep.
you're going to be paying.
It's almost like I wanted to make that first one useful. Weird. Okay, so we have the idea of the fifth document, full derivation of mortgage formula. And what's the fifth document, part 2? Yeah. Printed. I might call it a hard copy. You know the difference between a hard copy and a soft copy? Hard copy is a physical document that I can touch. Soft copy is an electronic document that you can submit to me, right? So, Charlotte, would you ask that beautiful question that you asked earlier?
So, when I was doing the lab, I made like a document of a live editor.
Oh, I have them, right?
And
Can I show you? Do you want to show them? I can also show them. Okay. We haven't.
I have the first one is the editor code. That's just like the system code. And then I also made it in live editor just because I like the way it was formatted. That's still the.
So this is her. Check that out.
That's the problem. I just like having it there in the document so I can go back to it.
I mean, I'm just going to say this. I think you're just a better person than I am. I mean, that's not hard, right? You have a pulse and you're breathing?
Yeah.
Check. But she's fully documented. She has this thing. And then she said to me earlier, she was like, you know what, Jeff? It is so much easier for me to read this documentation than it is this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, crazy thing about that. And then she said, hey, Jeff, do you mind if I do mine in Live Editor? Because it's easier for me to do this. I'm going to say that as a coder, usually somebody that produces code that's useful for somebody else, usually I expect to see something in a script file. But what you're saying I actually agree with really, really deeply, that it is so much easier as a human to read the live script file because I can write it as text, right? Here's one of the things that I would always, the way that I analyze this or think about it. The actual script file, I would call this the code that solves the problem. This is the documentation for somebody that's interested to learn more about that code. If we're in the automotive analogy, this is the automobile, this is the user's manual. Yeah. So could you guess, if you're going to sell a product, which one you would want to make sure works? The car, if you're going to sell it, right, you would want the car to work. What does the user's manual allow you to do? Yeah, so in this class, what I'm going to say is I would love it if, under the time constraints, if we could prioritize this. In the background, I would say, though, is if you have the time and commitment, yeah, for sure, go back and do that. But I don't want to put that extra pressure on you. What I might ask is if you've done both, submit both, right?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I was like,
Yeah. So you can submit what you'd like. Are you noticing that we are a class of overachievers? Pretty cool, right? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so then we've gotten that. So those are the documents that you're going to submit. Let me go back to this sucker. I'll send this out via email, so I'm actually doing this live. Okay. Okay, so that was problem 1. So part 2, sugar. Part 2, please submit a zip file of a lab2 directory that includes electronic copies of all documents from part 1 above. Now, let me say this. Did anybody make your 5-year plan and not scan it into your computer? Let us immediately forgive ourselves. Today, don't trip. Yeah, you could scan it on your phone. So like one way to do this is, do you know how to do that?
there's an app.
Can you show that?
Okay, it's just an app.
I know, but you say it's just an app and I say it's magic. I don't know if you want your face on screen, maybe? Okay, I'll keep my face on screen. This is amazing Michelle. So that's what you see there.
It's just this app, Scanner Pro.
Free?
Yes,
That's money?
free.
Free app, I always love free.
And then you can just scan whatever you want.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's pretend this is my, oh, in fact, where's my 5-year plan? There it is.
It corrects it for you. Well, you want to get it as straight as possible, but it.
So let's have her do this live in front of us today. Yeah, you would probably take it out of the scan, out of the. So picture. Picture.
More. Oh.
Here. Well, here's the deal. Scanner. What was it called? Scanner.
Oh, there you go. So it scanned it.
Scanned it, and then you can literally send it to yourself.
Yeah.
So,
All these.
for today, what we might say is, if you haven't done that and you don't think you want to finish it by the time you leave, that 5-year plan we might stay out. I might actually say though, it's probably a good idea that you have that. Could you imagine if a fire burned your document? How would you all feel about that? Why would you feel sad? Because it took you a long ass time, right? So the electronic copy is not the copy that is, the one that you're going to edit in the future, but it's a way to save the 10 hours of time that you spent making that thing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. That was really awesome. Okay. And then here's the way that we're going to do this. Using all lowercase letters, please name your script file using the following convention. If I'm going to use all lowercase letters, I might as well. So engineering 11, your name, your last name, your first name, lab 2, problem blank. So in this case, if it was me, it would be like engineering, engineering 11, my class number, let's call it 01, Anderson Jeff, lab 2, problem 4, I suppose, right? .m, obviously. And then many of you have this question, how do you submit your work? I'm going to send you right now a Dropbox link. As soon as I do this, this is going to be a Dropbox link. You can drag your zip file. Anybody confused on the concept of a zip file? This would be a good time to be confused. Great. A zip file is a special way to compress. I'm new to Office, so I'm not exactly sure how to do this in Office. Anybody know how to do this with Microsoft?
You want to like select multiple documents. Yeah, you can highlight. Select your recent file.
Makes sense to put them in
Oh yeah,
a
shift
folder
click. You
first.
can shift click if you shift it.
Okay, so let's go to Dropbox. Let's pretend that I wanted to zip. Let's go to GTD Systems, Project List. Let's go to Active Projects. I don't know. Engineering 11, Laboratory Exercises, Lab 2. Anybody see it?
Compress or something. It's on Mac.
Press on
Anybody know how to do that? To compress this thing as a zip file?
Send to.
It's sent to. Should be like on this file. Compress it.
Yeah, there it is. Did you see that, James?
Go send to.
Do you see how we're learning about, in this case, the operating system together? Yeah. So then you would, like, here it is. Where does that get saved?
Might be on your desktop.
On the desktop?
You can click the bottom in the bottom right corner goes to your desktop. If you go back to the other screen.
Bottom right corner.
I think you're in full screen, so you gotta click escape to get out of that. And then the bottom right
Okay, I could find that though, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I do find that, what I would do is I would take that zip file and then just go to this website and upload that zip file. And then that would get immediately reposited into my Dropbox. And then why don't I say this? Is it okay if I ask you not to email me questions about these directions? You are welcome to ask me any questions you may have in class. In class, face to face. Great work, you champions of life. Jeff. Yeah? Any other questions you think yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Is it necessary for us to put all the files we submit and have that naming format, or can the other ones be more like?
No, so, I mean, one thing, to be honest with you, when you're naming the other files, so remember, I want you all to always pretend that the person grading your work is the dumbest human alive. So I want you to, I mean, don't cut my mother down. Don't call my children anything ungracious, right? But I really want you to think, like, this guy's going to be an idiot while he's grading my work. So with that in mind, I'm going to want to see all 5 documents. Could you guess what order would make it really easy for me to confirm that all 5 documents are in order? Yeah, so you might use the number like 1, 2A, 2B, 3, 4, 5. So I can literally just read down the list in that order, right? The other thing is you might title the documents in a way that makes it really easy for me and you to determine exactly what those documents are in addition to the numbers, right?
So it's just putting like A, B, C, and then just like a descriptive thing like derivation.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I might,
if
if
our name on the file as well, each one.
I think if it's in the folder with your name on it, that's okay. So if I was doing this, I would probably put like, I would actually save the top document as 0. So I would put like 0, sub-index, Engineering 11, Lab 2 prompt, winter 2020. 1, Jeff Anderson 5-year plan. Or 1A, Jeff Anderson 5-year plan. 1B, Jeff Anderson 5-year plan support resources. 3, problem 2, lab 2, problem 2 cheat sheet. 4, lab, right? That's probably what I would do. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, and I got another one.
Yep.
If I just did like a big write-up with like starting with all like my school stuff, writing it out, and then I included my cheat sheets inside that write-up. Is it necessary to extract those to a separate document, or just or should I just label write-up with cheat sheets?
Yeah. You might label it so that I know. So here's the deal, right? You want to see something really stupid? So each of you spent how long on this assignment? A lot of time, right? So now every one of you is going to submit that, and guess who's going to have to read through that? So basically this is a way to kill teachers. Assign them 40 students to grade, right? So in this case, the minimum amount of time I can spend finding your documents, the more time I get to spend with my kids. Generally, the easier you can make it for your dumb instructor. It's not that I'm dumb, it's that I'm trying to finish this as quickly as possible so that I can go on to do other things for you and for my family, right? So from that standpoint, I would say, like, just make it easy for me to find. Don't make me, like, my general rule is if I have to spend more than 3 minutes finding something, I'm not going to waste my time finding it. I'll just come back to you and say, where is this, right?
Yeah, it seems strange.
Does that answer your question? Any other questions about that? Yeah, Bintan.
So in the zip file, do you need the laptops or not?
Let's think about the 5 years from now, you might want to come back and look at your work. Have you ever taken a class at Foothill a few quarters ago and wanted to go back and look at it? Not yet. Would you, honestly?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Not yet. Okay, that's okay. In my college and graduate career, there were times when I wanted to look back at my work. If you didn't have the lab folder in that file and you went back and looked at that file, would you be less confused or more confused when you looked at your solutions? Say it again.
I'm more confused, I guess, if I don't have the laptop.
Okay, so in that situation, if the goal of this is to make this useful for the future when you might forget, Awesome. I think that's a really good strategy too. Yeah, Jessica.
Is it okay if you attach some of the documents to like your lab report as appendices?
Sure. Remember, your grader is the dumbest human alive and has only like a minimum amount of time per person. So the easier you make it for me, the better. It's always good when your grader is feeling very happy as they're grading your work. It's always bad when your grader is in a very bad mood as they're grading your work, right?
So I have this like a lot of syllabus that I don't print. Do I need to submit it?
No. In fact, I don't want gigabytes worth of information.
Okay.
Yeah, so the stuff that you submit to me is the stuff that I'm going to look over, but hopefully you have a system on your own computer where you can get to the syllabus anytime, any day, right? How have I done answering questions about what to submit and how to submit it? Yeah? Anything else? Can I send?
So with the compressing zip for lab 2, that's just your code for lab 2 or all of your documents?
Can someone help with this one?
All the documentation. I have all of the syllabi. You said you don't want the syllabi?
That's probably a large set of documents, right?
Yeah, it's in my lab 2 folder, so if I were to compress and send that would
You might just, what you could do is just copy, like, so you could take your whole lab 2 file, make a copy of it, delete all the syllabuses, right? You and I can, let's do this. I'm going to send this document, and then you and I can brainstorm about that individually.
So just get rid of the syllabi and then submit that, because that's like a lot.
Let me come over and hang with you, okay? 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that should be sent to you. Can someone confirm that you've received that? All right. Thank you for your patience. Someday I'm going to be a good teacher. I can't wait. See you next time.